What's up, you guys? It's Dani. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. First things first, I'm so sorry about the lighting. It's midnight. I'm recording this so late, and I'm sorry this video is coming out on Friday instead of Thursday because life. I have a 1-year-old and she's teething, and it's been real around here. It's been real. I'm excited about today's video. If you read the title, which I'm sure you did, if you didn't, girl, what are you doing? 10 things that no one told you about pregnancy. Now, before we get into this, disclaimer, do not take this as I'm complaining or that I'm ungrateful, because I am very aware of how much of a blessing it is to carry a baby to term and to have the gift of being able to be pregnant. I'm very aware, but just because I do know that does not mean there weren't still things that I was shocked about or didn't enjoy about pregnancy. So this is just a fun, lighthearted video. This is my experience. Does not mean that this was everyone's experience, or if you're pregnant, that's going to be your experience, or if you're going to get pregnant. Every pregnancy is different. If I learned anything during pregnancy, every single one is different. But these are 15 things. I don't even know if I said the right number earlier. Did I tell you it's midnight? 15 things that no one told me about pregnancy. All right, number one, there are a lot of appointments. Now, you may think, oh, Danielle, you had a baby. Duh, you know you're gonna go to the doctor. I knew I would have to go to the doctor. I even knew that it was like a monthly appointment, but there are so many appointments that you don't even know about. I guess in my situation, because I was high risk because of my history of ectopic pregnancy and the chemical, maybe that's why I had more, but there were a lot of things that I had no idea about. One being the gestational diabetes test. I think it was when I was 7 or 8 months I had to take that test, and they did a blood draw in the doctor's office, and I failed it because it's me. So I failed, and then I had to go and do the second test in the LabCorp office, which is miserable. It's a long day. You get your blood drawn like 4 or 5 times. You have to drink this like watered down orange soda type drink to spike your levels, and they start taking your blood to see how your body's reacting. I ended up passing that one. I did not have gestational diabetes, but it was just one of those, like, there were just so many appointments, you know, different things that I didn't even know I needed to get. There was a test one time, TMI, if you don't like things about pregnancy, if you're a guy who clicked on this, click off for a second because you probably don't want to hear this part. There was a test, I can't remember the test, but it was to see if I needed an antibiotic during birth. It was like the last few weeks of my pregnancy. She had to take a swab of my exit to see what was going on down there. No one told me that. No one ever told me that was part of the plan where you had to get the little swab back there. No one told me that, but it wasn't that bad. By 9 months, it was like, whatever, you know. Do what you gotta do. Strangers will feel completely okay giving you advice you didn't ask for. Now, I knew that, you know, people like to give expectant mothers advice, but Chris and I could just be, you know, one day we went to the car wash. It's a drive-in car wash, but you get out from and detail the inside, and we were just inside waiting. I was like 7 months pregnant, and this family, I mean the family, like walked over to us and just started talking, just spewing off advice and spewing off do's and don'ts to us. And it was like, really? People can be really kind, and people can also be really rude. But if you're someone like me, it was kind of off-putting for me because I don't want to talk to you about my baby that I don't know you. It was just very odd for me. Like at the doctor's office when I'm at OB, okay, I get it. We're here. We're all kind of in the same situation. But I'd be at the grocery store, someone would stop me. I'd be going to get gas, someone would stop me. It was just constant. No one ever told me. No one ever told me that. pregnancy brain is so real. It's so real. And not only is it real during pregnancy, but after pregnancy, I swear, it doesn't go away. It's like a forever thing. Like a forever thing. During pregnancy, I would be like mid-conversation with someone and it would just be gone. And I was also teaching. So I'd be teaching and like trying to tell my kids a page number, and then it'd be like, I don't even know what page. I don't even know. There were Post-its all over the place. So as a teacher already, I Post-it note everything. But that was when I'm never getting that Post-it note app on my computer because it always looked so cluttered when I saw other people's computers. I had to get it. I couldn't remember anything. I would have something on brain need to do and it'd be gone. Especially teaching while pregnant. It was like, oh yeah, Mrs. Seide, specials are going to be at 10 tomorrow instead of 8:30. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I get back to my room and I'm like, shoot. I have no idea what they just told me. And that happened all the time. Things would just slip my mind completely. Baby just drained my brain power. Now, after pregnancy, it did get a lot better, but still, my train of thought, like, I could space out in a second, and that was not me before I got pregnant. And this one was a bad one. This one was scary. Acid reflux. Or heartburn, whatever your term you prefer. This really got bad for me around 4 months. 4 months, so that's really early, and it went up until the end for me. I would be in bed sleeping, and all of a sudden I would just gasp like, and I'd be choking, like I couldn't breathe because I would start throwing up in my sleep and choking on it, and it would burn everything. My eyes would water. I would cough. I couldn't get myself together. Water wouldn't help. It terrified Christopher because, you know, he's sleeping, all of a sudden I'm like gasping for air next to him. It would wake me up and bring me out of my sleep. It got to the point where I was like afraid to go to sleep sometimes because it was just so bad, and it happened pretty much every night. And that was actually one of the things, something else, like a little bonus thing I didn't know. It's one of the signs of having a girl is when you have bad acid reflux. Didn't know. In my case, it was true. My doctor, obviously, they tried to not give you any medications during that time. So they just recommended me sleeping pretty much at an incline. So that was great. That was fun. You're already pregnant. You're already uncomfortable. You're already huge. Everything hurts, and you have to sleep pretty much in a chair. And it stinks. It was terrible, but it did help. It did help sometimes, but as you see, as you go down the list, planning the way I slept didn't always occur. But acid reflux was really bad, and it was probably one of the worst parts of pregnancy for me. Number 5, everything hurts. That's something that I kind of knew. You know, you always hear women are sore, but in my mind it was like month 9 you start hurting because your baby's so big and it's trying to get out of there. No. I don't know if it's because of my size. Before pregnancy, I was only 130 pounds and I was 5'2". Well, I still am. I'm 5'2". So I was 5'2", and I was always between 120 and 130 pounds. And at pregnancy, I gained 30 pounds. So, yeah. But just because I gained that weight, my build didn't change. I'm still a really little person. I'm still tiny. I'm only 5'2". So the baby still needs all the room that the baby needs to grow. And I started having pain at probably 3 months. Bad pain. I think they called it my sciatic nerve. Oh, that I was in tears. I'm not a crier. I'm not someone that really complains about pain. Like I said before, I have a high pain tolerance. But sciatic nerve pain had me in tears. And that went on every day, all day and night for months. Now, I also have scoliosis, which is a curve in your spine. Mine's pretty bad. My right leg is also about 1 inch longer than my left. So me walking like this all the time has curved my spine. And I also did ballet for years and years. So my body's kind of jacked up. So throwing a human in there that's going to grow and take up the space they need did not help. So I hurt a lot. And I didn't realize how long that pain could and would be. Number 6, teacher tired has nothing on pregnant tired. Now listen, you might have heard teacher tired. If you have a teacher friend, they know what teacher tired means. You can go to work and be tired afterwards, but you have no idea what it means to be tired after work unless you're a teacher, okay? When you're at work as a teacher, especially an elementary school teacher, from the time a child hits the door, someone before they hit the door, you're making decisions. You have to decide, okay, there's a fire drill at 1. Are we gonna move specials? Are we gonna rotate differently? This kid has, band at this time and I have to pull groups here, and you're always organizing, always making decisions for children. The kids are having fires you need to put out. Parents are emailing, this kid has early dismissal, this child has a bloody nose. There's always something going on, and all the while you still have to stay on track for what you're supposed to do and teach. Gotta stay on pace, y'all. If you're a teacher, you already know. Gotta stay on pace. But through all of that, the bell finally rings, the day's over, and we just go home and chill, right? No, we don't. We have to now grade papers. We have to answer emails. Always something else. We don't really have days where we just come home and go to bed. Our weekends, we don't just come home and go to bed. We are tired. And even in the summer, you're still tired. That's teacher tired. Pregnant tired, take out the teacher part completely. Pregnant tired was something completely different. I mean, I would sleep from the time I got home, like all that extra teacher work, it was like pushed to whenever I could get to it when I was pregnant. I would walk through the door and get in my bed. And I would get home at like 3. I mean, I wouldn't wake up till like 8. Just dead to the world, knocked out. I would wake up for like 30 minutes, do some work, and be tired again because I got up and like went to the bathroom. Like walking made me tired, talking made me tired, thinking too much made me tired. Like I was just tired all the time, and the baby just uses so much energy from you. Now, for me, in my case, it was a little bit extra because I also put teacher tired and pregnant tired together, and it was a lot. Number 7, it's not just belly. Hear me out. I always saw these cute Instagram pictures of the girls who were like holding their little baby belly, and the rest of them still looks the same as when they first, when you first met them, and they just have this little boop, this little belly in front, and everything's just cute and perfect, and it looks like they're pretty much wearing their regular clothes and it's just stretched out a little bit out there. No. Nope, that's not the case. As a matter of fact, I think I have 2 pictures of me pregnant. Nope, maybe 3. Maybe 3. It's not all belly. Everything changed and grew and stretched, and it was not all baby. It looked like everything from my cheeks to my arms, my legs, everything. My hair changed, everything changed, and it's not like what you see. It was not for me. It was not like that. It was a complete different. Like from the back you could tell I was pregnant, from the front you could tell I was pregnant, from both sides, diagonal, you could tell I was pregnant. It was not just oh my gosh, there's a belly over there. I mean, I have seen girls where you see them and they look completely normal, like they're walking like everything's good, and they have a pace, and I'm back here dying trying to walk. And they turn around and it's like, oh, what? You have a belly. There's a belly over there. No, that wasn't me. If you're behind me, you knew something was going on, because everything has changed. It's not just belly. Back to the belly, there's this weird phase for probably about from month 3 to like 5 where it looks like you kind of just ate too much Chipotle. Hear me out. I was about 3 months pregnant around my birthday, and at the time no one other than my parents, Christopher's parents, our best friends, and each other knew that I was pregnant. But I decided that night when I went to my birthday dinner that I was going to let everybody know. I wore a tighter dress that kind of like showed my belly, what I thought was showing my belly, and went to dinner thinking, oh, they're definitely gonna know. And turns out I just looked fat. Like I just ate too much food because no one knew. It just looked like I gained weight, right? So it's this weird time between 3 to 5 months where it's like, you know, you look different. You have this little pudge, but it just kind of looks like you have a food baby. It's not very hard, or like when you get bigger, you stretch to like capacity, and your skin just gets very tight and hard. It's very clear that you're pregnant. During that time, it's not like that. It's still kind of soft, still kind of lumpy, growing, and just looks like, you know, you're kind of just eating too much lately and you stop hitting the gym. Number 9, you don't really eat for 2. In my case, food repulsed me. I went my whole life thinking that when you get pregnant, you just want to eat all the food. You're hungry all the time because you're eating for yourself and for the baby. Eating was a chore for me the entire time. There was never a time I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to eat this food. I hated eating. It made me want to vomit all the time. Just knowing I was literally eating because I knew I had to for the baby. Food was not even my craving. My craving was vinegar. Like I would want to just like sniff vinegar and I would try to like dip things in vinegar and lick the vinegar off, but I didn't want to eat things. Weird, I know. The other craving I had were Sonic strawberry lemonade slushies. That got me through. That's pretty much all I wanted. And that's it. I didn't have any desire to eat. I don't know if that's something common in other women, but I didn't want to eat for 2. I didn't want to eat for me. I was literally just eating so that she would survive. Number 10 kind of ties into the last one of it's not morning sickness, it's all day sickness. I actually did not have morning sickness. I had something called hyperemesis gravidarum, which is, it became more well known when Kate Middleton, she actually had it with I think her first or second baby. But what it is it's just a severe form of morning sickness. Basically, it's all day sickness. You vomit pretty much all day, every day. And that was the case for me. I would wake up in the middle of the night to throw up. I would throw up on my way to work. I used to have to take 2 and 3 pairs of clothes with me in my car because I would just vomit all over them driving to work. I would throw up during dinners. There was times where I would be like out to eat with my mom and just literally throw up on our table of food because I would just throw up all the time. I was very sick. Driving in the car, forget it. If I was riding in the car, which at some point I had to just ride because driving hurt too. Riding in the car, my parents, if I was with them, they would have like the big trash bags because I would just throw up so much. Christopher would always just try to have like his things all covered up on the floor so that I wouldn't throw up on them, but it was constant. And I mean from probably week 5. So pretty much that's kind of how I knew I was pregnant, because I was acting weird and I started being very sick. I thought I had the flu and I thought I was going to die because I was so sick. But it wasn't. I had hyperemesis gravidarum. I always forgot to say that word. But yeah, HG is what my doctor called it. And what they did was, because most women, they have morning sickness and they have you go until 12 weeks, because usually it stops at 12 weeks. And my cousin, it's so funny because it was amazing because she got pregnant with twins right when I was pregnant. So we were like, I think her babies were born like 2 or 3 months before mine. So she was like going through things and I was like right behind her, like, tell me what happens. And we went to our family bowling night and I remember being so sick. Like there was this one night that God just like blessed me and allowed me to not throw up this night that I could go to this family bowling night, because I remember saying I can't go because I'm just going to throw up the whole time. It's going to be miserable. But God just blessed me. I threw up the whole way there in the car, but the minute I got out and I was in there with my family, I didn't puke once. And my cousin was there, and she's pregnant with twins, and she's just bouncing off the walls, and she's like, happy, have fun. I'm like, how are you doing this? There's 2 babies in there. And she's like, oh, at 12 weeks it just stops. And here I am. I'm at like week 9. I'm like, okay, I can make it. I can make it to 12 weeks. And I got to 12 weeks and I still threw up. And then I got to 14 weeks and I was still throwing up. And my doctor was like, okay, maybe 16. I got to 16 weeks and I was still throwing up. And so I called her and I was like, listen to me. I'm going to die. And this is not an exaggeration. I was losing weight because anything, like I told you before, I wasn't hungry anyway. I was only eating because I had to, but anything I put in my body, including water, would instantly come out. And I told her, I said, my baby's not getting nutrients, like she's not eating. Like I just got weaker and weaker, and Nova was not gaining weight the way she should because of it. So they had said they would try this pill. I cannot remember the name of the pill. Like, you can take this pill, or if that doesn't work, you'll have to get a PICC line. Literally, you have to have an IV so that you and this baby can make it. Thank God the pills, I don't want to say they worked because I still throw up every day, but I had to, if I could just time it right, I could take it right before I ate. I had to take at least 30 minutes before I ate so that I could eat and keep my food down for at least an hour. Because if I keep down for at least an hour, then she was able to get nutrients from it. That's what they told me, so that's what we did. Usually after that hour, I threw up. Very dehydrated, like I said, I couldn't even keep water down. But thank God I did not need the PICC line. The pills got me through. They thought Nova was going to be a preemie because she wasn't gaining weight because of it. But like the last 2 or 3 months, she picked up weight. And she ended up being 7 pounds when she was born, which we were shocked. We were thinking we were bringing home a little 4 or 5 pounder, but she was 7 pounds. And it's really weird because she's so tiny. Like, if you see her in person, like on pictures she looks so big, and people see her and she's like, oh my God, she's so tiny. And she is. When she was born, she was 7 pounds, and she was in preemie clothes. Yeah, Nova wore preemie clothes for about 2 months, and at 3 months she started wearing newborn clothes. She can still fit some 3 to 6 month onesies and shorts. She's just a little girl, and she eats all the food, and she weighs the correct weight, but she's just built tiny. It is what it is. Number 11, your skin changes color. For me, I started having really bad hyperpigmentation. Once I was pregnant with her, I started getting acne on my cheeks, which I know is normal because your hormones are out of control, but mine would leave scars, like these dark little marks. And now on my skin, like right here, I have like little dark like freckles almost on my cheeks, and I hate them. I don't know what to do about them. You can see on my neck here, this started changing color too a little bit. If you can see that, it got darker. It has not gone back. My armpits, they got darker. My armpits used to be, I used to be one of those people that had one color of armpits. And my elbows, they got it the worst. But yeah, so my skin started getting darker in certain places. It is getting better though. I can't sit here and act like it's not getting better. I went to a dermatologist, they gave me some creams and things to use, so it is getting better and lightening. But no one told me I was gonna, you know, start changing colors like a chameleon when I got pregnant. Number 12. This one is actually really real and was really hard for me to deal with. But there's this fear of not feeling the baby move. I felt Nova move for the first time at, I think, maybe 10 or 11 weeks. It was really early. She was really active, and I started feeling like flutters, but she really started like kicking hard, probably like 13, 14 weeks. And once you feel that for the first time, you want to feel it all the time. That's how you know that the baby's okay. as long as I could feel her moving, I knew she was okay. And Nova was really active at night especially, and she loved when Christopher would talk to her. She would move a ton. But whenever she would like sleep, if I was awake and she would sleep, or if she'd move for like 30 or 40 minutes, I would panic, like full on anxiety. I would try to drink cold water. I would try to like push my stomach to get her to move around. Because you would just get so scared. Once you feel that baby move, you're always looking. And she had like patterns over certain times she would sleep and be awake. And if that changed at all, I would just freak out. I would panic. So no one told me how crazy I would be with that. No one told me that labor would terrify me. I didn't realize how scared I was to give birth until I started labor. Literally, people would, try to tell me about giving birth and the epidural, and none of it ever fazed me. I never felt nervous or scared. I could watch like birth videos on YouTube and feel fine. I could watch a natural birth and be like, oh, that's fine. I can do that. Like I could do it. But I didn't realize how nervous I was until I went to the hospital and for a regular old checkup that day, and they said, you're having your baby tonight, 6 o'clock, we're gonna admit you to the hospital, you're gonna get induced. And even then I wasn't as scared, but the minute I got to the hospital, just Chris and I at the hospital, we got in there and they were like, okay, we need you to go put on your the weirdest thing, I feel like I could cry thinking about this, but they had me go put on my hospital gown, and literally Chris was like, they had like the baby warmer over there with like the diaper. He held up the tiniest little diaper. They had like a preemie diaper and then a newborn diaper, and he was like, when we go home, we're gonna have our baby. Like she's gonna be with us. And I remember in that second, I was like, oh snap. I gotta push this baby out. And this is one that people still give me a hard time for. You may not like pregnancy. I didn't like being pregnant. I didn't. I loved her every day, every minute of the pregnancy. I loved the baby. But I hated being pregnant, and I thought I would love it. People would always tell me, how beautiful it is, how connected you feel, how much, you just love watching your body change, and that just wasn't the case for me. I didn't feel that at all. I'm thinking it's probably because of the struggles I had with HG, but pregnancy was not a beautiful thing for me. The overall time was awful and miserable, and me in bed or in the bathroom throwing up or in my car throwing up. It was pretty trying time. Number 15, which is the most important one of all, is that even though the majority of the time you're going through growing pains and vomiting and you don't feel great, you would do it all over again in a second, 10 times again for that baby, for that moment where you see that baby, you would do it again. And I would take the vomiting all the time. I would take, the acid reflux and the stretch marks and the pain, the sciatic nerve. I would take all of that over just for Nova, because she is the absolute greatest thing that I have ever done, ever will do. And those moments in the hospital were the best with her ever. Just sitting there with her, no care in the world, just holding her, looking at her, learning every single little piece of her. And I would do it all over. I would do it all over, because that day that I do remember seeing her, and up until now, like looking at her on her baby monitor right now because she's sleeping, I would do it all over again. It's priceless. There's not enough pain in the world to keep me from that kid. Alright guys, so that's it. Those are my 15 things no one told me about pregnancy. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Give me a comment down below if you can relate to any of this. Let me know what else you want to see, guys. Until next time, bye!